Welcome back to Miss Supranational Habbo 2017. We have seen the election of the penultimate court of candidates as it was the top 5, now the competition gets stronger, not only for the candidates but also for the judges. Without further preamble, demolish opening to one of the most awaited rounds by the public and the most feared by the candidates, the round of questions and answers. We started with Colombia. Miss Colombia, your question is: if the satellite networks that provide us with the internet will stop working, how could this impact human existence?
Well, generations could cope with life without the existence of this. Even so, we must take into account the historical context in which we move. This current society, 21st century without internet, would be a society in decline, which could not yet distinguish many of the wonders that this tool offers, like globalization, and the approach to other places of the world.
Thank you, Colombia. It's the turn to Brazil. Miss Brazil, your question is: terrorism is now rapidly invading society and the world today. What would you do to eradicate global terrorism?
Terrorism is one of the most latent social problems today. We daily evidence of acts of intolerance carried out mainly by armed groups. I consider that the best weapon to fight against this social problem directly is the solid education, having a vision of what is wanted and in what is wanted to advance, and implementing and instilling this education from the earliest stages of life, showing beyond one of the most publicly ignored but bitter realities. The first step to eradicate any social problem is to fight against ignorance through stable bases of education.
A step forward, France. Miss France, your question is: what impact does the unsupervised use of the internet have on the youth of today?
The soul and our ideas feed on what we see, what we hear, or what we hear. The internet is a great source of information that allows us to be closer to each other regardless of physical barriers. However, evil has always present state, and the internet is not saved from it. Many people use this means to reach youth and sow in them wrong and ill-founded ideas, feed them with hatred, with bad things. That is why we have to be careful which is seen and heard on the internet. Not only young people should be careful, but society in general must be careful about what is seen and what is accepted of this great technological tool.
Thank you, France. Please, Miss USA, it's your turn. Your question is: what would happen in the world if we could no longer use the internet?
If we could not use the internet, two things would happen, one negative and one positive. The negative is that it would be a few years back. The same technology of the present would not be the same, as well as restricting more ways to contact your relatives of different than through the bill. But I feel that the children should clear themselves more. That is something positive. Humans should be more with nature. Thank you.
Thank you, USA. In the last contestant, that is Dominican Republic. Miss Dominican Republic, your question is: if egalitarian marriage were approved, would it be well seen that they could adopt children?
I think that if we approve of egalitarian marriage, or equal civil union, as a society we should give it the opportunity to build a family, and if this can be done by offering a fraternal home to children who for one reason or another today are without the love of a family, we would not have to oppose. On the contrary, we must support this initiative and be part of it, because the love of a family is the most important to advance and grow as a person, and is the support we need all life.
Thank you, Dominican Republic. And thus culminates this stage of the competition. While our panel of judges deliberates the last court of candidates, we are going to a small pause.